Merry meet and welcome to our stream, everybody. This is Ariel Gatoga, and this is Witchy Wednesday here at Ariel's Corner. Finally streaming. We had a few little technical glitches, but you know how we are. We always figure it out. So we're glad to be here today. Hopefully everybody that's wanting to watch this is finding their way over to the proper stream now. This shouldn't be too long of a stream. I have just a couple things I want to do. And let's see, we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Honeypaw, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Shirley. Thank you so much, Honeypaw. Thank you so much, Shirley. And all the moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. If you're watching live on YouTube, please make sure that you, well, any way that you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Excuse me, if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch, and you can also watch us on Twitch without any commercials by subscribing to us there. You can, oh, I just lost my... Oh, there I am. If you'd like to give us a donation, you can do that by going to paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga, paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga. If you're watching live on YouTube, you could use a super sticker or super chat. And if you're on a restream, you could use a super thanks. We have a shop at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com, where we make a small commission off of each and every sale, and we do appreciate your support. We have chat threads available on both of these streams, and you can use those to chat amongst yourselves. And also, if you have any questions for me directly, you can put them right in the chat thread, and I will get to them before the end of the stream today. We do not have a premiere today, but I do work early today, so I have to get myself moving here. We do have a Discord server, and we have a Facebook group. So if you need some support, or you'd like to offer some support and be part of this community, we'd love to have you there if you're not part of that already. And you can find the links to all of that in the footers on my webpage. You can go to ariels-corner.com, Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com. All right, today we are going back to the basics. We are going back to basics today. Today we are talking about grounding and centering. Before we can harness the power of magic to shape our reality and to do all of the things that we like to do with magic, whether it's spiritual advancement, whether it's practical magic, no matter what it is, we first must ground and center. Grounding and centering holds immense importance. It enables us to connect with our physical bodies, our emotions, our minds, and also connect with a greater power source. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the significance of grounding and centering today, and I'm going to describe how to do it, and then I'm going to lead us through a grounding and centering. Grounding and centering is not new. It's something that you can see in all historical depictions of magic, if you look clearly enough. All magicians have honed the practices of grounding and centering, and this practice really does transcend time and culture. Grounding and centering taps into the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual dimensions of the self. And this, we call this the threefold self frequently in magic, and that's the mind, the emotions, and the body. Now, you can imagine, just think about the magicians in ancient Egypt. Just imagine them. They automatically had a deep connection between themselves, the universe, and the earth, because they were really connected to that fertile earth right on the Egyptian Nile River. This connection sharpened the finesse of all the mages in that region. And they were creatures of the earth. They were creatures and practitioners of magic that was very steeped in their region. Just like druids, they would ground and center too. And you can just imagine them amongst their sacred groves and enchanted forests, intertwining their practices with reverence for the power of the trees. You can think in terms of the magicians in India, practicing their very ancient techniques of yoga and very detailed meditations. No matter where you go, no matter what kind of magic or in history or modern times, any successful magic is started with a grounding and centering, and you always end with a grounding and centering. Even the Catholic crossing of oneself is a type of grounding and centering. The Kabbalistic cross is another one that's very common, used by a lot of magicians. The theory behind grounding and centering is that there's two practices in one, grounding and centering. And they provide a really very important and strong foundation for all of our magical work. Grounding connects us to the physical world, to the earth. And centering helps us find inner balance with the energy that's existing within us. So we want to ground to and I hate saying external, but it feels like an external force, a greater power source, very frequently the earth itself. And then you also want to feel like you are centering and balancing the energy that exists within your electromagnetic field, your aura. And that includes your emotions, that includes your physical body, and that includes your mind. So before you start any kind of spell work or ritual, it's imperative that you ground and center. Grounding involves oftentimes visualizing roots extending deep into the earth's core, but it doesn't have to. The idea of the roots coming from the base of your spine or the soles of your feet into the earth's core is just a symbolic way of attaching to that power source. But some people can do that by visualizing a pole going into the earth, or some people just feel connected to the earth beneath them. You can also ground and center and still connect with a power source above you that's symbolized above you as well. And very frequently we do both. Centering is, like I said, finding balance within our minds. It's also finding emotional balance, spiritual balance, definitely relaxation and peace. It's an inner journey, and it lets us reset our inner state and to connect with our subconscious minds and our higher self. This is so necessary before we work magic, and also after we have finished working magic. Now, the basic grounding and centering that's taught frequently, and which I use in a witch's primer, and I'm going to give you an example of it today, is fourfold. But this isn't I want to be clear, this is not the only way to achieve this. But let's go through these steps. The first step is you start by taking slow breaths, and you repeat a breathing cycle enough to begin to relax your body. The slow rhythmic breathing, usually you breathe in for a moment, you hold the breath briefly, and you exhale slowly. And just having a few cycles of that, you can count your breaths. For instance, inhaling for the count of 8, holding the breath for the count of 4, and exhaling for the count of 8. Or if you're not going to be that formal, just inhaling slowly, holding the breath briefly, and then exhaling slowly. If you do a few cycles of this, you're going to notice that your mind and body both begin to relax. That relaxation is of primary importance. You can't ground and center without it. The next step is to envision roots extending from the base of your spine or from the soles of your feet, connecting you into the energy of the earth beneath you. And for many of us, we visualize this as a molten core of the earth that we see as like a white light or a bluish light sometimes, like an electric blue light. And then we begin to, as we breathe, allow this earth energy to rise up into our body from the base of the spine, all up through the spine, and then flowing up and shooting out through the crown of our heads, and then cascading back down to the earth, making a circuit. And we just stay there, and we do several of those circuits, taking nice deep breaths, relaxing our bodies, relaxing our minds, pulling this beautiful energy up from the earth through those roots, all the way through our spines, up and out through the crown of our heads, and seeing it cascading down around us. We feel like this energy is cleansing, rejuvenating, and empowering us. We spend time there because this is that same magical energy that we are going to be using to direct towards our magical objectives, whatever they will be. Once you feel like you are filled with this energy and connected to that source, that external source, that earth beneath you, you can allow yourself to have all of the excess energy to drain back into the earth, just leaving you serene and balanced and clear and grounded and centered. Now, people ground and center in all kinds of ways. That's just a way that you can do it that's very certain, and you're going to get the right results. But in addition to that kind of visualization, some people can achieve the same thing simply by focusing on their breath, or working something like the Magic Minute, where you're focusing on a silent mantra. Some people do body scans where they let go of excess tension. Some people find the grounding and centering by doing walking meditations. You can be grounded and centered simply by sitting and relaxing in nature, spending time to promote your balance in connection to that natural world. Physical activity, such as rhythmic body movements, yoga, walking, dancing. Think in terms of how some witches will start their magical meetings with a meeting dance, and they'll end their meetings with a parting dance. What that does is it grounds and centers them as a group, because they are synchronizing movement and breath, oftentimes with chanting, which is another way to ground and center yourself, using chants, mantras, sacred songs, and things like that. So there's a lot of ways that you can have that experience of grounding and centering. But if you follow that meditation so that you know what it feels like to be grounded and centered, then when you're exploring these other techniques, you can ascertain whether you have achieved your objective of having that grounding and centering occur. It's really important to have a very clear intention, and also honestly assess your energy state before and after you practice magic. So you want to be able to become very in tune with the energy in your body and in your aura, so that you know if you need more grounding and centering before you start magic. And also when you're finished, you know if you're off balance, because you really need to make sure you rebalance and reground when you're finished. Grounding and centering are very, very fundamental practices. And we always talk about them like they're the same thing, but remember, those are two things that we do in consort. They serve as the starting point for all other magical work. They provide a stability and balance to harness the sometimes very chaotic energies of magic. Regular grounding and centering, whether it's through any of the techniques that we've described, if you're achieving that feeling of grounding and centering on a regular basis, you will find very profound long-term benefits from doing it. Through this grounding and centering process, we connect with the strength and the wisdom of the earth. And not only does that sustain us during spell work, but over time, it allows us to maintain a more peaceful and magical outlook in general, not just in rituals. We learn how to achieve balance within our mental, emotional, spiritual, and electromagnetic selves by doing this on a regular basis. It's important to remember that everybody's magical journey is going to be unique, and grounding and centering is no different. So it's all right and encouraged that you find methods that resonate with you. You don't have to do what everybody else does, but it is important that you understand why we do what we do. And the more you practice this, the more you can master it. And the more you master the energy in your electromagnetic field, the more you master the energy of magic itself, and the more you become a magical adept through something very simple like grounding and centering. So there's many ways to do it. There's rituals to do it, such as, like I said, the Kabbalistic cross, and even the ritual of the pentagram is a type of grounding and centering in a way, but especially the Kabbalistic cross part of it. So learning what works for you. There's Israel Regardie came up with a wonderful meditation based on the middle pillar of the Kabbalistic tree of life called the middle pillar technique. And that's a wonderful grounding. And it does more than just grounding and centering, but it includes grounding and centering in it. And it balances the energy centers in your body. Anytime you do chakra meditations or things like that, you're doing a type of grounding and centering. But it's important that you find these things to do and that you do them daily. The idea being that you relax your body, you relax your mind, you link up to a power source that's greater than your own ego, and that you allow yourself to be in balance and to balance in your electromagnetic field all of those energies, and that you release energies that are tense, and that you let go of everything that is standing in the way of that balance, and that you call into yourself or draw into yourself that sacred energy, either from the earth or from the sky or both, from spiritual planes, from the solar light. There's all kinds of the power sources that you can link to, but so that you're not depleting your own energy when you are working magic. Even if you're not working magic, grounding and centering is a wonderful technique to get into the habit of using on a regular basis. You can't overdo it. You can't overdo it. You really can't. The more grounded you are, the more centered you are, the more things seem to work out for you. And the easier of a time that you have of dealing with problems when they come up in a wise way. Because when you're grounded and centered, you are more apt to be receptive to the inner voice of your guide or your guardian angel. Whereas if your energy in your body is chaotic and your mind is racing, you have very little chance of listening to that still small voice within you. So that small little ritual of grounding and centering, a lot of times when, especially since we learned it at the very beginning of our magical studies, people say, oh yeah, I know how to do that. But oftentimes they don't really do it. And they forget that that's something that if they do it on a regular basis, it is such an important part of their magical practice that it could be a path unto itself. It could be a path unto itself. Very much like in yoga, a sun salutation could be considered an entire yoga workout. Your grounding and centering could be a type of magical practice unto itself. But most frequently, it's used as a starting point and an ending point to a magical operation. I'm going to do a guided meditation. So if you are not in a place where it's comfortable to do that or appropriate or safe to do that, you can just listen and don't participate. Before I start that, I'm going to do a little farewell on the lecture part of this, and so that I can splice this together when I edit it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, blessed be. And I'm going to get some meditation music here. Hold on a second. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to add the meditation music later when I edit it. So you're going to go ahead and listen to this meditation if you want to, but it's without music. Sorry about that. Find yourself seated in a comfortable chair. Your feet rest gently on the floor, grounding you into the present moment. Lay your palms delicately on your knees or on your thighs, feeling the warmth and connection between your hands and your body. Your spine effortlessly aligns itself, naturally finding its graceful position. As you gently close your eyes, let your breath become soft and serene, easily flowing in through your nose and out through your mouth. With each inhalation, sense the entrance of peace and tranquility, filling your lungs and spreading that peace throughout your entire being. As you exhale, allow any tensions or worries to effortlessly melt away, being carried off by the power of your gentle breathing. Breathing in light and peace, and exhaling as you let go of all tension. See and feel roots extending. See and feel roots extending from the base of your spine, reaching deeply through the floor and into the nourishing earth below you. Feel a powerful connection between you and the earth's grounding essence as those roots extend deeper and deeper into the earth, discovering a molten core of the earth that we visualize now as a white light. As you inhale, imagine this white, radiant warmth emerging from the heart of the earth. This vibrant energy rises up within you, flowing gracefully up through the base of your spine, up your spine and throughout your body, and out through the crown of your head, then descending like a cascading waterfall all about you. It washes away any remnants of stress or negativity, infusing every cell with profound rejuvenation and vitality. Keep allowing a few more cycles of this, where you pull white energy up from the earth, through the spine, up and out through the crown of your head, as you see it cascading down all about you. Embrace this magical energy as it envelops and renews your entire being, leaving you in a state of deep relaxation and restoration and buzzing with magical power. With each exhale, release any lingering burdens or tensions that you may have, letting them softly dissolve and disperse, and returning into the earth. Feel lightness and liberation as your shoulders relax. Feel yourself cocooned in profound power, protection, and tranquility. Quiet your mind, allowing fleeting thoughts to gracefully fade away, and allowing space for peace and serenity and magic to emerge. Now imagine releasing any of this excess energy from your body and your mind and your aura by seeing it as a gentle stream effortlessly flowing back into the earth. As you do, feel a profound sense of peace and serene stillness as it envelops your entire being. Allow this peace to center and renew both your body and mind. Breathe deeply, feeling the revitalizing energy filling up every soul, every cell of your body, while you let go of any excess energy. You are now grounded, centered, calm, and ready to embrace whatever is before you. As the vision of the roots dissolves, let yourself feel completely present in this sacred space, immersing every fiber of your being and in the room with your physical vessel. When the time feels right, gradually open your eyes, carrying the serenity and centeredness you nurtured throughout this profound experience. Allow this newfound tranquility to gracefully accompany you on the remainder of your journey, emanating waves of deep magic, calmness, and inner peace to everything you encounter. Blessed be. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I hope that you enjoyed today. We'll be back for another Witchy Wednesday next week, and tomorrow we will be continuing with our fairy magic course. I hope you can join us, and we will see you very, very soon. Thank you so much to the amazing moderators. Today we had the wonderful Honey Paw and the wonderful Shirley. Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for joining us. I can't wait to work with you again. Until next time, blessed be.